Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Allahumma rabbi zidni ilma. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Ameen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. The topic of this lecture is important questions of CRV. For this lecture, I am using the work of one of my best students, Ms. Bisma Sami of class 2021, the Lyceum. An important advice for me and for everyone: we should be sincere to others. Question number 3. This is the first important question. The lifetime X years of the power light on a freezer, which is left on continuously, can be modeled by the CRV with PDF this for these range of values of X. And this limit means X lies between 0 and infinite. And outside these values of X, PDF will be 0. These are two important rules. 1 upon infinite means 0 and 1 upon 0 means infinite. The first part of this question, we have to show K3. Before starting this first part, I strongly recommend you to watch my first lecture on this chapter to understand the concepts well. For the unknown constant, to show this constant K3, we should use this formula. All x f of x dx is 1. So when you will use this formula, you'll get this thing. The lower limit is 0 and the upper limit is infinite, and this is the PDF. And this entire thing is equal to 1 because total probability is always 1. When you will integrate this, you'll get this thing. The integral of e minus 3x is e minus 3x upon minus 3. This student wrote minus sign here. It's fine, you can write minus sign here or you can write here. She basically wrote this simplified form. Well, this is the calculation of the limits part. When you will apply the limits, before applying the limits, you should first get the simplified form of this. First get this thing, bring k upon minus 3 outside the bracket and bring this e minus 3x in denominator and get it, to make it positive, the power positive. When you will apply the upper limit, this will become e power infinite, 1 upon e power infinite, and this will become, when you will apply lower limit, this function will become 1 upon e power 0. You all know 1 upon, e power infinite is infinite. If e power is infinite, then answer is always infinite. So 1 upon infinite, this will become 1 upon infinite, and 1 upon infinite is 0. So this answer will be 0. Anything power 0 is 1. So 1 upon 1 is 1. When you will simplify this thing, you will get k upon 3. And this entire is equal to 1. So the answer is 3. This is the way to show K3. Well, the second part, find the lower quartile. You all know for lower quartile, the probability is always 0.25. So you should integrate this PDF with these two limits, 0 and Q1. 0 is the lower limit. And this entire thing should be 0.25. You all know how to integrate this. I'm not discussing this thing. You just need to integrate this and then apply the limits, and then you will get this Q1. Now the next part is find the mean lifetime. Now mean is very important. This is the formula of the mean. It's all x f of x dx. Let me write this formula here. Make sure you learn the formulas from my first lecture. So all x f of x dx. This is the formula of the mean. You don't need to mention the formulas over here. If you know the formula, you can directly substitute the things into the formula. Well, all x means lower limit and upper limit. The lower limit is 0 and upper limit is infinite, but this is very important. This is integration by parts, product of different functions. Make sure you should be good at integration to solve the questions of this chapter. Well, take this as u Or you can take this as u only x and v is 3e minus 3x. It's your choice. The better thing is just take x as u and take these two as dv. I mean the rest is dv. This, and this. And you all know we always differentiate u to get du and we always integrate dv to get v. Now you just need to use the by parts formula. This is the integration by parts formula. So you just need to substitute everything into this formula. You need to cancel these 3 with this 3. And so you have minus x, this is u, it's x, and v is, the simplified form of v is minus e minus 3x. So you just need to substitute this here. And v is here and du is dx. So when you will apply the limits, you will get this thing, 1 upon 3. Let me erase some irrelevant things. Well, now you can easily understand this. Actually, this student did the assignment in a hurry. I requested her to send me the assignment as soon as possible, so she did it in no time. That's why she couldn't erase these irrelevant things. She is one of my best students of this class. Well, this is the next question, question number 6. And the question is, this is the PDF, and this PDF is defined for these values of x, and this PDF is 0 outside these range of values of x. Now the first part is show that case 2016. This is so simple, you just need to use this formula, all x means 0 to 24. Integrate this PDF from 0 to 24 and equate the answer to 1. So all x is 1. When you will solve this, you will get k. And you all know how to integrate this. This is so simple. This is the composite algebraic function. I'm not interested in integration, so I won't explain how to integrate the function. I will just explain the concepts. Part 2. On how many days in a year of 365 days can the center expect? Now this is very important. This expect means mean. This means mean. Like this is the formula, n times probability. Whenever you get this thing, expect how many would you expect, this means n times probability. N means 365 and probability is here. To have less than 2 hours of cloud cover. So get first this thing, less than 2. Less than 2 means, you can write less than 2 as, so when you will integrate this, you'll get this thing. This means less than 2. So the upper limit is 2 and the lower limit is here, it's 0. Whenever we have lesser sign, then this number will be the upper limit. And you have the lower limit, it's 0. So first get this probability. This is P x less than 2. Now you just need to multiply this probability with 365. Use this formula, n times probability of the requirement. This is the probability of the requirement and this is n, so these are the number of days. Make sure you round the number in forward direction. What if we had a 104.1? You must write 105 because 104.1 means one complete day, like 105 days. I mean, use common sense for these type of questions, please. Find the mean number. Mean is so simple, you all know how to get mean. First, remember the formula of mean. The formula of mean is this, x times f of x, all x. When you'll use this formula over here, you'll get this thing. first get the simplified form of this and then integrate this. This is the simplified form of this function. After integration, you'll get this thing, and then after applying the limits, you'll get the answer of mean. It's 5.14. Question number 8, the next question. Again, we have to prove K3. For that we always use all x f of x dx 1. So by using this formula over here, we can easily prove this thing. You should just integrate this x power k, it will become x power k plus 1, k plus 1 is here. This is the way to integrate the algebraic function. And when you will apply the limits, you will get K3. Show that mean is this. This is so simple. Again, you just need to use the formula, the right formula. The formula is all x and x f of x. So when you use this formula, you'll get this thing, 4x power 4. Let me tell you how to get this thing. So the function is 4x power k and k is 3. You should multiply this with x for mean. This is the formula of mean, x f of x, all x. So when you will multiply these two, you'll get x power 4. I hope you have understood this. Well, you just need to solve this for mean. And this is the answer of the mean. And try to give the answer in the simplified form. Now the next part is, and show that the mean of x is 0.8. Oh, sorry, this is the this one is fine, 0.8. And find the variance. You know, for variance, you must have e power x2. First get e x2. This is the requirement for variance. So x2 means you should use this formula. This is the formula of e power x2. All x square f of x dx. So when you will multiply x square with 4x cube, you'll get 4x power 5. You just need to integrate this, get this thing, and then you should use this in variance formula. This is the formula of variance. E x square minus ex. So this is 4/6, it's here, and mean is 0.8. This is the answer of the variance. Must give your answer into 3 significant figure, up to 3 significant figures. Now you need upper quartile. Upper quartile is very simple. The probability of upper quartile is 0.75. Solve this equation and get the value of Q3. Find the lower quartile, because the last part is find the interquartile range. So first get the lower quartile. So this is the formula of lower quartile. The probability is 0.25. This is Q1, and interquartile range you all know is Q3 minus Q1. And make sure you should give your answer up to 3 significant figures. If you want to check the solution again, you can. Question number 9, the next question. At a town center car park, the length of stay in hours is denoted by the random variable x, which has probability density function. Number 1, interpret the inequalities 1 to 9 in the definition of f of x in the context of the question. In order to answer this part, you should understand this thing. What is this PDF? It says at a town center car park, the length of stay in hours is denoted by random variable. So you should explain this in the context of the question. So you should say this 1 to 9 means the length of stay of all cars the length of stay of all cars is between 1 and 9 hours. Meaning all cars are stayed between 1 and 9 hours. Number 2, you have to prove this thing. This is so simple. Again, use all x formula and get this thing. I'm leaving this part and this part. They both are simple. Now, the next part. The charge for a length of stay of x hours is this. Find the length of stay for the charge to be at least $0.75. This is so simple. It's mentioned this is the charge for a length of stay in dollars. Find the length of stay for the charge to be at least $0.75. So you just need to equate this thing. Just need to write this thing as greater than 0.75. At least means greater equal. So this means charge is at least 0.75. So your answer is x greater equal to 1.39. Just need to write this as this is the charge. So this should be at least 0.75. Means this quantity is greater equal to 0.75. Last part, find the probability of the charge being at least 0.75. So this part is very simple. You have the value of x here. From this information, use this value in integration. See, use the accurate value. The accurate value is this. This is the estimated value and its accurate value is 1.386. And the question is at least. At least means this number, 1.39, which is 1.386. So you just need to solve this integral. This is the lower limit and this is the upper limit, and this is the answer. Make sure you understand these two parts well. Let me repeat these two parts. The charge for a length of stay of x hours is these dollars and at least $0.75. So you just need to write this thing greater equal to 0.75 and solve this for x. After getting the value of x, which is 1.38, I think 9896, like that, solve this part. Find the probability of the charge being at least 0.75. So you have the value of x for this 0.75. Use that value. Use this value here in probability. Number 11. First, we need mean and variance in terms of B. For mean, use the formula x f of x all x dx and get the mean. So according to that formula, we have this information. When you'll integrate this, you'll get x square upon 2b, so mean is b upon 2. For variance, we must find e x power 2. First, work for this. So the answer of this is b square upon 3. And this is the variance formula. This minus square of this. This is the variance in terms of b. Well, the lengths of a random sample of 100 pieces were measured and it was found sigma x 950. With the help of these two informations, this 100 and this sigma x, you can get the mean of this data. Sigma x over n, so 950 over 100. So mean will be 9.5. Now you should equate this 9.5 with this mean for the value of b. We need the value of b. Show that b is estimated from this information is 19. So you just need to equate 9.5 with this b upon 2. So by equating 9.5 with b upon 2, we can get the value of 19. It's here. Now the last part of this question, part 3. Use this value of b find the probability that the length of a randomly chosen piece is greater than 11. This is so simple. B is 19 and we need greater than 11. So the lower limit is 11 and the upper limit is 19. And this is the answer. You should leave this part because this part is of sampling and we haven't done sampling. So you can do this part with sampling. Next question. 14. Well, the first part of this question is again show K. So I'm leaving this. Mean, we know how to get these two things. Here is the solution of both the parts. Find the probability that a candidate chosen at random takes longer than 5 minutes to answer the question. This is so simple. The upper limit is 5. So with the help of this information, we can get the answer. Let me first edit this. I told you this student did the assignment in a rush on my request, so she couldn't edit these things. She tried her level best, but she told me that there are few things she couldn't do. So this is t power 2, I guess. So when you will integrate this thing, you will get t power 2 here, t cube and 3. And then you can easily get the answer. Now next part, the last part. Is the upper quartile of the times greater than 5, equal to 5 or less than 5 minutes? Give a reason for your answer. They're asking whether the upper quartile is less than or greater or equal to 5. So this is so simple. You just need to check the probability of this greater than 5 thing. I mean, this answer, you should check this answer. Let me check this answer. 4 divided by 27. It's 0.14. This is 0.148. Now let me explain you this thing through number line. This is 5, this is 6, and this is the lower limit. I guess it was 0. Let me check this. Sorry, it was 3. So 3 is here, let's suppose. 4 is here, 5 is here, and 6 is here. Now see, greater than 5 number has probability 0.148. It's here. So this probability is 0.148. And quartile, and this probability will be, let me check this, 1 minus 0.148. This is 0.852. And you know, the upper quartile has probability 0.75. The upper quartile should be here because its probability is 0.75. So your upper quartile, with the help of this number line, you can easily see that upper quartile is less than 5. It's before 5. So you will say, since the probability of upper quartile is less than probability of this number 5. So your upper quartile, which is 0.75 is less than 0.852. Therefore, upper quartile is less than 5. So always do this part through number line. Number line is the best way to understand this part. We had this probability greater than 5, it's 0.148, and I use this probability and I got this probability. And then the upper quartile, the probability for upper quartile is 0.75, and 0.75 is less than 0.852. So upper quartile should be between 4 and 5. So upper quartile is less than 5. This question is important because we have cost function. First part is very simple. Again, use all x and get the answer. The integration of cos is sine. This is again very simple. You should use your calculator in radian mode. Make sure whenever you do calculus, make sure your calculator must be in radian mode. So greater than 0.4 is simple. 0.4 is the lower limit, and the upper limit is pi by 4. And this is very simple to integrate. Now we need upper quartile. You all know the probability for upper quartile is 0.75. So this is the lower limit, this is the upper limit, and this is 0.75. Now the last part. Let me first edit this. Well, the last part of this question is important. It says find the probability that exactly 3 out of 5 random observations of x have values greater than the upper quartile. This is the binomial part. 3 out of 5, and p is, you can get p through this information, greater than the upper quartile. So greater than the upper quartile means probability is 0.75. The p is 0.75. I'm writing the data here, over here. N is 5, you need probability x3, and p is 0.75. Greater than the upper quartile means the probability is 0.75. So this is the binomial formula, 5c3 p power 2, this is p power 3 and q power 2. Greater than the upper quartile, so the probability will be 0.25. P is 0.25. C. 0, upper quartile, greater than the upper quartile means this probability, and this is 0.25, and this is 0.75. So your P is this. Make sure you use the right value of P according to the given information. So the formula is 5c3 p power 3, this is p, and this is q power 2. And your answer should be up to 3 significant figures. This question, the last part of this question is important. In fact, second part is also important. You all have done iteration, so you all know how to sketch this function. I'm leaving the first part, it's simple. Second part is sketch. You have to sketch according to, with respect to these limits. And outside these limits, the function, you need to show bold lines. See, the lines are bold. This bold line is compulsory. And here, the line should be bold. Because outside this range, PDF will not be defined. Whenever they ask sketch, So you should sketch according to given values of t or x. In this case, according to given values of t. The values of t are 0 to 5, and outside this range you should draw bold lines. So this is the exponential function with positive power and positive coefficient. Let me check the intercept of this function. This k times e power, that should be the intercept. The intercept of this function, let me tell you how to get the intercept, the y-intercept. You should write 1 upon 5 e minus 1 times e power 0. So the intercept is this number, 1 upon 5 e minus 1. You need to check this in your calculator. Let me check this. 1 upon 5 bracket shift e power 1 minus 1, I guess, yes. It's 0.116. So this is 0, 0.116. This is the way to get the y-intercept. Make sure you mention the y-intercept here and these two values here. Now the next part, 80% of fireworks burn for longer than. Longer than means this thing. Certain time means, let's suppose that time is small t or capital T. This student took this as capital T, so I'm writing capital T here. So according to this information, your inequality would become like this. It would be like this. Greater than T is 80%. This is the inequality you need to solve for T. Equation. So 80% of fireworks means 80% is the probability. For longer than means greater than T. Find this time. You need this time. So the lower limit is T and the upper limit is 5. And probability is, of course, it's 80%. Now you have two options. This student use this option. See, you have two options. This is 80%. Let me correct this. This is 80%. So you have two options. Either you use this option T and 5.8 or use this option 0 to T. It's your choice. You can use any option. But this probability will be 0.2 because this is 0.8. And this student is very smart. She used this option, which is the easiest option because lower limit is 0. I told you this student is very smart. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. So this is the easiest option and she used this option here. And it's wise, always use the easiest option because you have to save your time in exam. And she solved this for T. I'm not going to integrate this. You all know how to integrate this. I just wanted to explain the concept. So this is the sketch of this function. And then this part, you have two ways to solve the last part. Either use this or this, and this is the easiest way. So use this one. The last part of this question is important. So I'm leaving EX and median. You all know median means the lower limit is 2 and upper is M or A. You can write anything. And the probability is 0.5. This is the median. And Two independent values of x are chosen at random. Find the probability that both of these values are greater than 3. First get this probability greater than 3 with 3 as lower limit. So this is the probability, the required probability, and it says both. Both means p power 2, meaning p into p. So p power 2. It's here. That's the final answer. And it's better to leave answer as a fraction. Otherwise, you have to give your answer up to 3 significant figures. Next question, 21. The diagram show the graph of two functions g and h. For each of the functions g and h, give a reason why it cannot be probability density function. Now this is so simple. If you check the area of this function, it's 2. Since the total probability is always 1, therefore this g function g cannot be PDF because the area is greater than 1. For PDF, the area under the function, under the curve or graph must be 1. The total area must be 1. Over here we are getting 2. Since area is 2, which is greater than 1, therefore this function g cannot be a PDF. Well, the next part. We have to explain why function h is not PDF. I explained this thing in my first lecture that PDF cannot be negative because probability cannot be negative. Here PDF is negative. Since PDF can never be negative, therefore this function cannot be PDF. This is in fact h of x. Well, the next part, we need mean. This is simple. You all know how to get mean. And then they ask, find also the probability that x lies between median and the mean. This is so simple. The lower probability is median, lower limit is median, and upper limit is mean. And the answer of mean is this, and the answer of median is this. So you just need to use this thing. This is the requirement. Median, mean. So this is the lower limit, median, and this is the upper limit, mean. That's the answer. Well, in this question, it says the distance traveled in kilometers by a grippo brake pad before it needs to be replaced is modeled by this 10,000x. This is the scale. So these numbers are in 10,000, like this is 20,000, this is 30,000. So show that k is 6. So this is simple. Just use all x and get the value of k. This is all x formula. State the value of x. When the graph is symmetrical, then mean is the central value. This is the mean, which is 2.5. So state the mean means 2.5. It's here. You don't need to calculate this. You can write E2.5. Mean is 2.5. And find variance. For variance, you must have this thing. I'm erasing the calculation of mean. It's fine. You can calculate mean, but when it says state, then you should use the diagram or the given information. So you can do the mean part directly. If you use this formula, it's perfectly fine. You can use the formula as well because it's not mentioned hence. It says state, so it's fine. But it's better to observe the diagram and state the mean. Mean is 2.5. Now the next part is variance. Variance is simple. For variance, we must have e x power 2. So this is e x power 2, and the formula of variance is this number minus square of this number. This is the formula of variance. 6.3 minus square of mean. Here is the variance. Next part. Sami fits 4 new grippo brake pads on his car. Find the probability that at least one of these brake pads will need to be replaced after traveling less than 2.2 kilometers. This is on scale is 2.2. It's here. First get this probability. Here is the probability, and at least one means binomial. You need to use binomial. This method is perfectly fine, but let me explain this in detail. Let me first write the formula. So I'm using binomial. This student also used the same thing. It's 1 minus P0. At least one means 1 minus 0. So 1 minus P0 means Q power n. And in this question, n is 4. So 1 minus Q to the power 4. And what is Q? It's find the probability that at least one of these brake pads will need to be replaced after traveling less than 2.2. So your P is this. So Q will be 1 minus P. 1 minus 0.104. Wait a minute, let me check this. Sami fits 4 new grip of brake pads on his car. Find the probability that at least one of these brake pads will need to be replaced after traveling less than 2.2 kilometers. So at least one means 1 minus P0, and P0 means none, that is Q power n. So this should be 0.896 because Q is 0.896. Now you can check your answer. Your answer will be, you can solve this yourself. Well, what this student did, let me check this, what she did. Okay. So you can use this method which I did, and you can check the answer yourself. 0.896. So this is binomial situation. At least one means 1 minus P0, and this is the probability. P, this is the requirement, is 0.104. Now question number 24. Question number 24 says, each of random variables, each of these random variables t, u, and v, w, and so on, Which of these variables has the largest median? That's the question. Well, when median is close to the upper limit, then median is largest. You need to observe all the diagrams. Here, median should be here because the probability of median is 0.5. In this diagram, median is here. It's close to 1. In this diagram, median is here. It's close to lower limit. Here, median is at this center. Here as well. In this diagram, median is close to upper limit. Median is close to lower limit in this diagram. Median is at the center. So in this diagram, median is close to the lower limit, is more close to the lower limit than in this diagram. So median is largest in this diagram. So diagram 5, because more area is here. So when median is close to upper limit, then median is largest. Now part B, which of these variables has the largest standard deviation? Explain your answer. So I discussed this thing in my lecture 1, that standard deviation is greatest when probability at both extremes is greatest, when there are high probabilities at both extremes. So in this diagram, more observations are at the lower side and upper side. So probability is greatest over here and here. Since more probability at both extremes, therefore standard deviation is greatest in this diagram. You can give this reason: because high probability at both extremes. Because the standard deviation depends on the variation. If we have more observations at lower side and upper side, then standard deviation is greatest. You should watch my first lecture to understand this concept and the other concepts. Well, the later parts are simple. We have to show this thing, a n plus 1. So by using all x, we can easily do this. Part 2 is simple. This is part 2, less than 0.5. Part A is again simple. Use all x and show this thing and find, given ex is this, find an. So first get ex. So this is the ax formula. And by using this, you can easily get this thing. This is the equation 1 and this is the equation 2. By solving these two equations simultaneously, you can get the values of a and n. Well, in this question, you have to find a such that probability x less than a is 1 upon 5. So this is the upper limit. This area is given. You can easily do this through this method. Now, the next part, the diagram shows the graph of y is equal to f of x. The median of x is denoted by m. Use the diagram, explain median is less than 0.5 or greater than 0.5. This is 0.5. Since more area is on this side of the curve, therefore median is less than 0.5. In this diagram, median is close to lower limit. Since median is close to lower limit, therefore median is less than 0.5. You can write this as, since median is close to the lower limit, so median is less than 0.5. This answer is also fine. Well, 27. Show that case 1 upon 6. So by using this all x, we can prove the first part. Mean, we know how to get mean. I'm not interested in mean, in the calculation of mean. In fact, at the beginning of 1 week, the shop has 20 kg of flour in stock. Find the probability that this will not be enough to meet the demand for that week. 20 kg is not enough. So whenever it say not enough, so write greater than, mean the demand is greater than 20. So use this in inequality. So 20 and 25 limits. Give a reason why the model may not be realistic. Weekly demand may be greater than 25. Model may not be realistic because of the upper limit. Demand could be greater than 25. Therefore, this model may not be realistic. Make sure whenever they say not enough, use greater sign, because 20 is not enough. So greater sign. And when it says the model is not realistic, that means demand could be greater than 25. This question is again very simple. Second part especially. It says 20% of people leave at least D cm cube. So you can write this as at least D is 20%. I mean, with the help of this information, write this equation and solve this equation for D. It's here. Well, it says 10% of patients have to wait more than n weeks. This is so simple. You just write the equation x greater than n is 0.1, and then use this equation for the value of n. It's here. I discussed this thing in my first lecture, that when we have a straight line PDF, then for median use similar triangle. It's better to use similar triangle rather than using integration. This is, I mean, you can either use integration or you can use a similar triangle. This is student use similar triangle method, integration method. She first found equation of this PDF. She first got the gradient and so on, these things. This is the height of this function. She got this height first. She did this question in this way. She got the height with the help of area formula, and then she found the gradient of this. The gradient of this is 1 upon 8. So the equation of this PDF is 1 upon 8x. And then she integrated this for 0 to m. I'm going to solve this question through similar triangle method. You must know both the methods. Let's suppose median is here. Let's suppose if median is here, then this probability is 0.5 and this is also 0.5. So you have similar triangles now. This is another way to solve this question. I discussed this method in my first lecture. This is M with probability 0.5, area 0.5 in fact. This is 4 with area 1, the larger triangle. So with the help of this formula A1, A2, you did this formula in O levels, we can easily get the answer. M upon 4 square, and area is 0.5, this is 1, this is M square over 16. So M is, I guess, under root 8 or 2 root 2. So this is M. So you have both the methods. You can use any method. Both methods are fine. Next question, which is 41. Well, they are saying get this probability, half a minute. Lucy has to wait for less than half a minute at the traffic light. So this is simple, t less than 0.5. You can easily do this yourself. Now part B is important. Now it says the diagram shows the graph of probability density function G The graph of G is semicircle. You know the area must be 1. So in order to get the value of A, use area formula. The area of this semicircle must be 1 because this is PDF. So area of this semicircle is pi A square upon 2 and this must be 1. So A is this thing. Now state the value of expectation. Expectation is the central value. It's 0. So the answer of second part is 0 because it's the middle value. This graph is symmetrical. Now it's mentioned, this is important, less than minus C, this is C, this is negative C, is 0.2. This probability is 0.2. This is minus C. This probability is 0.2. According to symmetry, this probability must be 0.2. So this probability, this total probability will be 0.8. So if they ask find probability x less than C, meaning this area, so this must be 0.8. This I did with the help of symmetry. See, this was given less than minus C is 0.2. So according to symmetry, this is the line of symmetry, this 0. So this must be 0.2. Therefore, this area which is less than this line is 80%. That is 0.8. So the answer of this part is 0.8. You just need to use the diagram. This is 0.8. This question is simple. The first part is find the value of C. With the help of area formula, we can get the value of C. The second part is get this limit A. This is again very simple. You can first get the equation of this PDF and then you should use integration. The last part, expectation, use integration and get the expectation. So this question is simple. This is again a simple question. I'm leaving this. Now this question is first part, greatest possible distance traveled by the coin in one turn. This is the greatest possible distance to upper limit. Upper limit means greatest possible distance. And then they are asking, the next part is show that k is 3 upon 4. This is simple. You can do this yourself by using all x formula. I'm leaving mean part as well. Now this thing, out of 400 turns, find the expected number. We have done a question of this type before. The formula is n times probability of requirement. Get the probability less than 1 meter and then multiply this with 400. This is the probability of less than 1. Multiply this by 400 and get the answer. Question number 49. Well, in this question, they are saying the diagram shows the graph of the probability density function of a variable x. Given that the graph is symmetrical about the line x1, the graph is symmetrical about this line. And this probability 0 to 2 is 0.6. They are saying this area is 0.6. So this area should be 0.2 and this should be 0.2. And this 0.3 and this is 0.3. This is 0.3, this is 0.3, this is 0.2 and this is 0.2 because total is 1. Well, the question is find x greater than 0. This is so simple. This should be 0.8. It's here. Now the next part. A flower seller wishes to model the length of time that tulips last when placed in a jug of water. She proposes a model using the random variable x in hundreds of hours with probability density function. Find k, simple, I'm leaving this. Find the mean, it's simple. Again, you can easily do this yourself. This is B part 1, k, and mean is here, 9 upon 16. Use the model to find mean number of hours that a tulip lasts. You have done this. Now the next part is the flower seller wishes to create a similar model for daffodils. She places a large number of daffodils in jugs of water, and the longest time that any daffodil lasts is found to be 2.9 hours, because it's the scale is 100 of hours, so this should be 2.9. You need to divide this by 100 according to this scale. So the longest time is 2.9, and the longest time of this model is 1.5, and the longest time for this model should be 2.9. So this f of x is not a suitable model for daffodils. Since the longest time for daffodils is 2.9 and the longest time of this model is 1.5, therefore f of x would not be a suitable model for daffodils. See, maximum for f of x is 1.5 and maximum of daffodils is 2.9, therefore f of x is not a suitable model. Now they are saying state, now this is the new model and this is the longest time. State a suitable value of a. There is no need to calculate this c. Now in order to state this value, you should you have option. You can either state 2.9 here, or you can state anything from 2.9 to 4, because here we have some area. So anything, you can state anything from 2.9 to 4. Is this x? Okay. So the value of a could be 2.9 to 4, or you can state any value from 2.9 to 3.5, or you can even write 2.9. All the answers are fine. Anything between this range or this range is fine. Even 2.9 is also fine, because this is the longest time, 2.9. So you can write 2.9 simply here. If you want to take the screenshot of this question, you can. This is the answer of part 1. Part A, in fact. #51 is simple. They are saying list in order of size, stating with the largest median. Largest median must be in this diagram, because largest median means median must be close to upper limit. So median is close to upper limit in this diagram. So largest median is here. The second largest is here. The next in here, and the smallest median is here. So you should write largest x, then y, then z, and then w. X, y, z, w. Because more area is here. Since more area is here, so median is close to lower limit. More area is here, so median is close to upper limit. Expectation is simple, this is simple, and this is also simple. You can just check the solution. This 2ex is also very simple. You have this probability ex, so 2ex is again simple. This probability is 0.590, this probability. What about this probability? So first get this probability less than ex and then multiply this by 2. 2 times less than ex. 12 upon 5 is ex. I mean, you should use this thing. X less than 2 into ex. Ex is 12 upon 5. So this is 4.8. You just need to check this in your diagram. What is 4.8 in your diagram? Well, your function is less than 3. So less than 4.8 means 1. I mean, before this, the area will always be 1. This is x. So this is 4.8. So less than 4.8 means still here, so area is 1. This is very important. This part is very important. This area is 1 because 4.8 is here. And before 4.8, the area is 1. And after 4.8, if they ask after 4.8, the area will be 0. Because here 0. Before is 1 and after 0. If I ask you what is the area less than 3, you should write 1. And after 3, 0. This is simple. I have done a question of this type before. The largest standard deviation. Largest standard deviation is here because more probability, high probability at both extremes. The second largest is here. The next largest is here, and this next largest is here. So x, z, y, w. Mean for which sketch? For x. Where is x? X. So mean is 0. This is simple. Standard deviation is show that standard deviation. So first get variance. So first work for variance, and then you can easily get a standard deviation. Calculate x. Write this probability 2 sigma x. First get this information. 2 sigma x is 2.32. 2 sigma x. Where is part C? 2 sigma. Sigma is 2.32, so 2 sigma x will be 4.64. And according to this sketch, 4.64 is here. So less than 4.64 is 1, and after 4.64 is 0. So this answer is 0. This number is 4.64. And 4.64 must be here. After 3, yeah, maybe here. So after this area is 0, and before this area is 1. Well, this is all. Alhamdulillah, I have discussed all the important questions of this chapter, and I'm very thankful to my best student, one of my best students, Ms. Bisma, who did this assignment in no time. And with the help of her sincere cooperation and sincere help, I have completed this lecture. May Allah Pak bless her with more success and with great success. Ameen. Well, an important advice for me and for everyone: be honest. We should be honest. We should be honest to others. Allah Hafiz.